It is a direct tax on your gas, on your natural gas home heating. It is a tax increase on everything that comes by truck or train. It is a tax on our farmers and therefore a tax on our food. It is a tax that will drive more people into poverty, that will force seniors to choose between eating and heating, that will force single mothers to put more water in the milk they give their kids because of the costs that Trudeau and your NDP federal members of parliament are imposing on all of you. We, though, are continuing to mount the pressure, and we're asking you to bombard local Liberal and NDP MP offices with pressure from the people of Manitoba. Make the message clear. We need to spike the hike until common sense Conservatives can axe the tax. Now, let's axe the... There we go. Listen to the facts to axe the tax. Justin Trudeau was on television again yesterday blubbering away that people just don't understand his carbon tax. That's the problem, right? They don't understand that when he takes their money, it makes them better off. He claims they get more in these rebates than they pay in the... But here's what the parliamentary budget officer said. I brought the documents. These are his calculations. And here in Manitoba, this year, the average Manitoba family will spend $1,750 on federal carbon taxes and get back only $1,248 for a net loss of $502. That is actually the good news. Now are you ready for the bad news? If Trudeau and the NDP are re-elected in their carbon tax coalition over the next 5.5 years, they intend to quadruple the carbon tax, all the way, right, all the way to 61 cents a litre. And that will bring a cost to Manitoba families of $3,564 with a rebate of only $2,000 for a net cost after rebates of $1,500. How many people do you know in Brandon or in Winnipeg or in Churchill or in the Paw who can afford to spend another $1,500 net on taxes? And it gets worse. On top of that $1,500 net carbon tax increase, they want a second carbon tax. They call it the Clean Fuel Standard, which has no rebate at all, which will mean hundreds of dollars of additional costs. My friends, this will mean thousands of dollars in increased costs for families right across Manitoba. And that doesn't even take into account the small businesses who have no rebate at all. They are the drivers of our economy. They are 90% plus of the employers in our country. And they're paying the carbon tax on their heat, their energy, their inputs, their transportation, money that they have to take off of the paychecks of their workers or put on the prices for their consumers. That's going to destroy the small business economy that is so central to the people of Manitoba. Manitobans are known for entrepreneurship. Small businesses are the backbone of this province, and they will be hammered the hardest by this tax, the tax that has no compensation to them. They were lied to. Trudeau and the NDP said there'd be some sort of a refund for small business. And yet, here we are, a half a decade after the tax came in, not one penny has been refunded to our small businesses. Another carbon tax lie. This will mean that young people who are coming out of school can't get that first job that they're looking to get. That means that people who are hanging on by a thread might get laid off because of the job-killing tax. And then there's the farmers. This is a farming province. Here we are in the prairies. God bless our farmers. The farmers who feed us are paying, if you have a 5,000-acre farm, you pay $150,000 in the forthcoming carbon tax increase. $150,000 for our farmers that their competitors in the United States and in other countries around the world will not face, forcing more of our production out of this country and more costs on the back of the people who pay the bills. And still, the Liberals want to increase the tax while we are struggling to feed our families. We now have, let's just review how bad things have gotten after 8 years of Trudeau. We have 2 million visits to a food bank in a single month. We expect the number of people going to food banks next year will go up by a full million. Our food banks are running out of food. A third of charities are turning people away because they do not have the resources to feed them. 8,000 Canadians have signed up for a Facebook group called the Dumpster Diving Network, where they share tips on how to eat out of a garbage can because they can't get food from the grocery store or from the food bank after 8 years of Trudeau. The suffering and poverty does not even end at death anymore. In Newfoundland and Labrador, a tragic story of 28 dead bodies sitting outside of a hospital in refrigerators that look like shipping containers because their loved ones cannot afford to give them a burial or a cremation. 28 bodies sitting next to a dumpster. That is how desperate things have gotten after 8 years of Trudeau and the NDP and the members of the federal NDP who sold out their constituents to sign up for Trudeau. Crime, chaos, drugs and disorder are common in our streets. Our people are spilling over into tent cities, forced to live in encampments that resemble something out of the Great Depression or a third world country. My friends, when we look around our country today and we see the suffering of our fellow citizens, we can only conclude that Justin Trudeau is not worth the cost, not worth the crime, not worth the corruption, and not worth the country we know and still love. The good news is life was not like this before Justin Trudeau, and it will not be like this after he's gone. There will be a carbon tax election during which Manitobans will choose between a costly coalition of Trudeau and the NDP, who tax your food, punish your work, take your money, double your housing costs, and unleash crime and chaos in your community, or common sense conservatives who will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime.